But for now, I'm looking forward to no more legendary engrams, no more Vex, no more Tower in my life, and that's absolutely okay. While this sentiment might feel and sound negative, especially considering the current trending topics in Destiny 2, it really, really, really isn't. I'm happy because I spent 10 years playing a super fun game, met some cool people. It was a fun time. And if there's something that drags me back down the line, great. If not, it was just time well spent. Let's see what the August showcase brings us. Let's enjoy the final shape, and let's allow ourselves to let things move on, with or without us. I posted that clip in a video about 3 months ago, marking my return to Destiny 2 content while also, I guess, kind of signaling my foreseen retirement from the game after the final expansion came in the form of the final shape. This was followed up by several more videos where I was just kind of discussing what Bungie was planning, what they needed to do to keep me invested in the franchise, and I would say just giving an overall nostalgic and kind of thankful summary to my decade with Destiny. The most important thing I was trying to get across in these videos was that I wanted to kind of acknowledge that all good things just, come to an end. I wasn't mad at Bungie. I didn't think it was a dead game or they had done anything grossly wrong. I just felt like my time was done and I was going to move on, happy having spent all that time in a wonderful place. These sentiments have, as of recent updates, which if you're watching this video you no doubt are aware of, left a somewhat sour taste in my mouth. I honestly debated about making this video because I don't want to give the impression that I am capitalizing on the mistreatment of Bungie employees or on the poor management decisions of Bungie leadership. However, I ultimately decided to do it because I feel not only the need to voice my opinion against these shameful actions of Destiny 2's management, but also because it's honestly severely going to affect the future of my channel. A minuscule problem compared to what Bungie employees have gone through recently, of course, but it's still something that needs considering on my behalf. So before continuing, I really want to hammer home and ensure to anyone watching this that I do not blame any Destiny developer for anything that has transpired now or in the past with the game. Any and all critique here is solely aimed at upper management and its bad decision making and planning. So, to summarise for anyone who has not heard the news, Bungie have suddenly and inexplicably fired around 100 employees across multiple sectors in the company. These include social media, engineering, QA, even the music department, and I'm sure there's many others. What was really striking about these firings, however, even when compared against the landscape of layoffs witnessed across the entire game dev industry this year, is that we witnessed very prominent player-facing employees being let go. And to clarify, I'm not insinuating that just because someone was a public figure or had a large Twitter following means their job was more important or valuable to us or them or to the other co-workers. I'm just saying that the public was getting news from individuals on their Twitter feeds and from people they regularly interacted with and possibly even met. We didn't get some big, cringeworthy corporate "we're sorry" JPEG this time around. It definitely felt more personal. I have no insider info and I can only pass on information that I have heard literally third hand at this point from articles written by the likes of Jason Schreier, Paul Tassi, in conjunction with the influx of Twitter posts from employees who have been just torn out from what I think a lot of them probably considered a dream employment. So, according to inside sources, Bungie has experienced revenue 45% below their projections, low retention rate after the release of the lukewarmly received Lightfall, and apparently a good, not great response in regards to the playtests for the Final Shape expansion content. Following on from this, according to inside sources, Bungie employees had been informed of these poor analytics and were just given the impression they were going to buckle down, weather the storm together and drag Destiny 2 and the Final Shape out of danger, out of the red. As we now know, this is not the case, and many received a calendar invitation to a 15-minute meeting in which to learn their cooperation with Bungie would be coming to an end almost immediately instead. While all this news was trickling out, a lot of people hypothesized that it was perhaps a Sony-mandated decision in lieu of the recent layoffs across all of Sony Group Studios, but once again, this is apparently not the case. It is reported that the layoffs and decisions were handed down by Parsons and Bungie upper management
And as a result, we have now lost some prominent Bungie employees that many of us, myself included, have come to know as fans over the years. Prominent figures like community manager Sam, the social media lead Griffin Bennett, and even Michael Salvatore. Michael Salvatore. Not to diminish the impact, the importance, the relevance of anyone else laid off in this situation, but this dude has been nailing Bungie's soundtrack consistently, with not a single miss since Halo 3 in 2007. I was in high school, and he was just throwing out bangers, and he was let go, or forcefully retired. Whatever the mechanism was, he's gone. And that is insane to me. And while we're speaking on the subject of music, the track actually accompanying this video right now, which was written by another Bungie composer, Michael Seacrest, was also let go in a similar manner. The 45% drop in expected revenue is obviously a huge red flag for Bungie, and probably a surprise to most of us, if not all of us. I mean, sure, Lightfall was a little weak, but the following season content was superb, and the player numbers for Lightfall's pre-orders, actual purchases were very high from what I recall. Given that this year has sort of been an unexpected banger for video game releases in general across the industry, I think it's very likely that player focus has just been more divided than usual, in combination with the usual ebb and flow of Destiny 2 populations as the seasons progress through the year waiting for the next expansion. Apparently, all of this was enough to warrant the firing of 8% of Bungie's workforce, but for me, the biggest question mark surrounding this whole thing is you see a 45% drop in revenue and you think the solution is to just decimate any respect your community has for you. Nobody is going to pre-order the final shape based on what you've done. I don't understand. Surely this is just going to further increase the deficit, and Bungie's reputation is just going to continue to plummet. I don't understand what's happening. Given that Bungie was recently purchased by Sony for a price tag in the billions, and reassurances were made by Bungie that no restructuring of employees would occur after the acquisition, it is so hard, almost impossible to believe that this decision was anything other than corporate greed and incompetent management. I can only speak for myself, of course, but this news did it. It finally did it. It killed my interest in the game. Before, in the past, it was overexposure, burnout, a desire to just try new games, financial issues that meant I couldn't afford an expansion pack. Whatever the reason that I stepped away from Destiny for a brief moment of time, it didn't feel like this. I feel like I've just seen an ugly side of the company that I once revered so much that when anyone asked me what my dream game dev studio will be, I would unequivocally say Bungie every single time. I loved Bungie as a company and the products they made. I can't look at the company in good faith anymore. And not only that, but it makes me rethink all the times in the past where I gave them the benefit of the doubt when they did something that just seemed to go really against community needs. I feel a little embarrassed that maybe I've just been like puffing copium for a decade, and all those people screaming on the internet, dead game on every single post. Even if their delivery was wrong, maybe they had some semblance of a point. I think, based on my own feelings and the general online sentiment, Bungie have did it. The ripples of these decisions will be felt for years, and not only will it impact Bungie and Destiny 2, I think the final shape is in real trouble right now. Oh, I never even mentioned that. I completely forgot. I was so distracted. There are also reports that the final shape has been delayed from February 2024 to June 2024. I mean, this aligns with those reports that I mentioned about the playtesting of the expansion, the feedback being unfavorable, and that a lot of work will need to be done to rectify it, so it all checks out. This expansion is huge for Bungie and Destiny as a whole, and it just, it doesn't feel like it's going in a good direction. So this video has honestly been quite a tough one to make for me. I mean, not only because I'm just discussing the pain and shock of a large group of developers who are jumping into a bulging job market filled with other similarly experienced game devs all just trying to find a home where they can make cool games and live a normal, secure, stable, peaceful life. Big ask, right? It's also difficult because, this is going to hugely affect my channel even if that means very little in the light of all of this. You know, this is my channel. This is what it was for. I was here to talk about Destiny, basically, and I cannot, for the foreseeable future, cover Destiny 2. I cannot even fathom playing Destiny 2 right now. I was working on a new video. I had plans to actually start a series playing Destiny 1 on my PS5, going back, you know, to the very start, making a new character, re-experiencing everything in 2023, 2024. I don't think I can do this anymore because my vested interest in the franchise has just been crushed by corporate greed, poor management decisions, and a complete lack of regard for employee well-being in a franchise that was very close to my heart. To any developer affected by the news, I sincerely hope you find a new home where your talents are actually appreciated, and to anyone who watches my channel, anyone who subscribes specifically looking for Destiny 2 content, while I can no longer guarantee I will be able to provide you that, I am not saying I'll never do it again. What the future holds, I'll be evaluating everything and deciding what I want to do next. That sucks. I was genuinely hyped and planning to cover a marathon in the coming years, and it just feels weird now. So thanks for listening. Thanks for subbing. I hope some of you stick around and we can just find something new to talk about for a while. See you guys.